Hi everyone, my name is Julietta, and I'm in your operational management class. So for this paper airplane exercise, I of course started with the elementary level paper airplane. I think that we all grew up knowing how to make, very basic, very fundamental. And what I did is I performed the exercise twice, so I made the two different types of airplanes. The first with 5 minutes, the second one with 5 minutes, and then I calculated my productivity by keeping track of how many outputs I made divided by the inputs, which was time in this case. So when it came to the simple airplanes, my productivity was about 1.87 planes per minute, or in total for the time, like I made a little over 9 total airplanes for the 5-minute period that I did the experiment for, after a few practice rounds, of course, just to make sure that like I was able to do it and got the hang of it. For the Eagle style airplane, in total, in the same amount of 5 minutes, I made a little over 3 airplanes. So if you calculate the productivity for that, again, outputs divided by inputs, I got about 0.67 planes per minute, which I think a lot of us expected. Considering it's a more complicated process, it's going to take a little bit more time, and as most of you also did this, it's a single person job, so in the classroom setting, we would have done it production style, where someone focuses on one aspect of the folding and everyone has their own little part, and I think that would have made things go a lot faster, and of course productivity would have been better for each of the different styles of plane. Given the fact that everyone is able to specialize, I think that's been a proven method for a long, long time. Likewise, I think there was something to be noted in the fact that although productivity was lower for these airplanes, the Eagle style, they did fly a lot better. I did test all of them as I was doing this, just to make sure that there was no defects, which was another thing that I noticed, is that these planes were more easily had defects in them. You know, I found myself messing up on them a little bit more because I was trying to go quicker, because it was, you know, a less complicated process. I found that there was more errors in these than there were in these. But I think that's something that happens a lot when you try to increase the production time. And the one last thing that I guess I learned about from this exercise was just that when you do have a lower productivity, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. In this case, it's a good thing if you were I don't know if anybody watches The Office, but they have a paper airplane contest. So in this case, this airplane, although it took longer to produce, it's a higher quality airplane in the sense that, you know, it doesn't have as many defects and it flies a little bit better. It goes a lot farther. So, you know, that's something to consider in the productivity ratio when you do look at it. You know, obviously it's important to be as efficient as possible, but then again, efficiency doesn't always guarantee a great product, and a lot of times defects can occur if you're not being careful about the regulations, or, you know, taking the time to make a nicer product, which in this case the Eagle airplane was. So overall, after I'm done making all these airplanes, you know, like I said, I tested all of them. One thing that we lacked here was also a quality control component, so, you know, determining the exact defects or the quality of the product wasn't always done. You know, it was kind of rudimentary, but I do think that would affect the productivity as well, because, you know, a lot of times in a factory setting, so many defects occur in a larger set of the product that's made. But overall, I think it was a great exercise in learning about productivity as far as outputs and inputs like time are concerned. You know, we didn't consider the input of the price of the paper, for example, and we kind of just used the number of planes divided by the minutes that it took us, or at least that's how I calculated it, but, you know, you could calculate it in terms of cost. So like the amount of time that I spent doing this translated into labor hours or labor pay, how much that costs you, in addition to the raw material costs. I think that would also affect productivity overall. So I think that pretty much concludes what we were supposed to do. So if anyone has any suggestions or any comments, I'm really glad to hear them. And I hope everybody else's exercise went just as well. Thank you.